Baby, y'all ready to get into these Hurricane Housewives? Because I swear to you, between Big Freedia and Jesus, they were both over these girls. Big Freedia got up from that table and she said, I hope you treat each other better and please keep it classy going on. And Jesus said, send a flood and send them back to Atlanta from whence they came. I hope y'all have your notes. I have mine. Let's get on into it. So like I said, Drew had a cooking surprise where she brought in Big Freedia. Now, I don't know much about Big Freedia. I don't really know the New Orleans bounce sound and all that other stuff. But from what I hear, she's a very well-respected member of the music industry and the entertainment community, as well as the LGBTQ plus IA, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P community, baby. And I'm not trying to be shady with that, but I do feel, side topic, that there are too many letters in the name. Like, come on, y'all, we need to get together and condense this down, because the more people that keep getting added, the more letters they keep adding on, and I can't even keep track. So I'm just going to shorten it and say the LGBT community, and we can fight on it in another video, or maybe I'll do another video on that. We'll see. Anywho, so she had a cooking surprise with Big Freedia, trying to upstage Kenya and create more activities for the girls. It was very, very nice. I would love to go to one of those types of cooking classes one day, especially once the pandemic is over and things get back to normal, because I'm a low-key chef up in here in my 340 square foot studio. And the only reason I don't post cooking videos is because I don't have enough space to do it. But where there's a will, there's a way. But this is not about me. So the girls sit down at the table, and Marlo, who felt a whole bunch of angst and stress in her chest, apparently decided to phrase the driest, most apparent shade-filled conversation. She tried to direct it towards Big Freedia in terms of talking about her issues of Kenya and Portia, right? So she tried to phrase it in a what if scenario. It was so dry. It was so tired. Everyone at the table saw through it. And I'm so glad Portia spoke up about it. And you know who's the actual GOAT of this whole situation? Big Freedia. And let me tell you why. Because she nasty clapped back at your ass when you asked her what would she do. And she said, listen, baby, I don't do confrontation, so I would leave both of them where they are and I'd move on with my life. And that's what you should have done, because I feel like the whole tenet of this situation between Portia, Kenya, and Marlo is that Marlo put herself in a situation that did not concern her, okay? She put herself in a situation that did not concern her, and she's making the issue that Portia has with Kenya and Kenya has with Portia her fight, which it's not. You can be in the middle, and that doesn't need to be your issue. That was not the mantle that you needed to take up. And by bringing up this Portia Bolo issue again, it just really seemed that you have picked a side, because if you were truly in the middle or truly Portia's friend, you wouldn't have even brought this up. You'd be like Candy in the situation and just trying to gloss over it and, entertain you from here and now with these little side comments, but not really tell you anything. And that's what a real friend in the middle does. So Marlo needs to pay attention to that. It really was a situation. I talked about this in a prior video of the transference of energy, right? Like I said, Marlo felt so much strife and angst and, confusion up in her spirit. And sometimes when you're feeling that way, people, what they like to do is they like to transfer that energy off to other people, right? So you need to be feeling as, messed up as I'm feeling on the inside, because, I'm not going to be the only one that's going to share these emotions. And that's what she did. I feel like tensions weren't that high at the table before Marlo started her foolishness. And the minute that she started down this route or whatever, Portia got mad, Kenya got mad, they start fighting in between them, the whole table gets involved, and it really was just an embarrassment to Big Freedia at the table, because this is y'all guest. I know that when you guys sit down at these dinners, these arguments are bound to happen, but I just feel like maybe y'all could have waited 5, 10, 20, 25 minutes until the dinner was over and Big Freedia had exited stage left for y'all to start your, normal mess. But that's just me. It just seemed like a real embarrassment. Drop down in the comments and let me know, guys, if y'all felt the same way, because I felt embarrassed for them watching the damn tape. So like I said, with the transference of energy, it then got into a Portia versus Kenya don't say my name situation. That was just petty. And it really just speaks to that whole energy transfer, because Marlo got up calling people all sorts of MFers and, fake Bs and all this other stuff. And the next thing you know, Portia's like, don't say my name, don't say my name, what's my name? Stop. I can't delete that file. I'm still stuck in late 90s, 2000s R&B, Destiny's Child, Mariah Carey, but that's fine. Anywho, so like I said, don't say my name, it was just very, very petty. But I think that, another goat of the situation would be Portia, because listen, therapy, time, and actually understanding your triggers have done very, very well for Portia, right? Because old Portia would have gone straight gutter at that table with Kenya. And this Portia decided to diffuse the situation with her comedy and just trying to reframe the situation. So she kind of took her energy back, if you think about it. Nothing really got settled at that table. And Candy is like me in the situation. Candy's like, listen, I understand that y'all have these issues, but like, what's the solution? What is the nugget we can take from this? And how can we fix this moving forward? I ain't saying that y'all have to be best friends, but y'all need to come to a point where y'all, come to some sort of middle ground and move forward. So we then see, after that scene ends, Candy and Marlo sit down just to talk about it, and for Candy to give Marlo her feelings on how, this situation really didn't involve her, and she's putting herself in the middle unnecessarily. I did think that it was interesting. And like I said, how Candy is like the perfect definition of someone in the middle. Candy will also give you a little bit of tea and a little bit of nuggets, interspersed with her being in the middle and being Switzerland on most issues. So I thought it was really interesting when Marlo asked her, point blank period, have you had situations or can you admit that, Portia can sometimes not tell the truth? And Candy said, honestly, from her experience with Portia, yes, I have been in situations where Portia, has not been completely 100% truthful. And that's an honest statement, right? I think that we have to make a determination between honest statements and shade. And I don't think anything Candy said in that moment was shade. I think it was just speaking from a very honest place. Candy and Portia have had a lot of issues on the show historically, and she's basically saying that there is room for doubt in this Bolo situation as to whether or not Portia slept with the stripper. I really can't believe we're still going over this. And it is really a testament to Kenya's ability to stir up mess and keep it perpetuated. But here we are, and here we're talking about it. And so Portia and Candy then leave the trip. Like I said, Portia found a way to take her energy back and realize her triggers, and she exited stage left about that, hell house down to New Orleans. And I have no problem with it. I think she could have probably done a better job in communicating it, but listen, sometimes you have to do what you have to do to protect your peace. Was it funny though that when I think it was Shamia or somebody that was, or it might have been, I think it was Shamia who was sitting down with Cynthia, and she was talking to her about how Portia left or something like that. And then Cynthia looks out the window. I'm like, girl, you see, this is the problem that I have with Cynthia, okay? Because Cynthia sometimes is me in situations. I get so absent-minded that at the time I'm like, oh, well, maybe Portia drove, not realizing they were all on the same damn bus in the situation, right? So like she was going to, see Portia down in the parking lot, or open the window and see Portia in Atlanta from New Orleans. I was like, Cynthia, I cannot with you, but I love you, because, we are here sometimes with our absent-mindedness. Yes, God. So Portia had a reason to leave the trip, right? Because she was just protecting her energy. And Candy said, listen, baby, I am booked and busy. I don't have time to Tootsie Roll down here with y'all talking about the same old mess. And I got jobs waiting for me from the Shy, my restaurant, my husband, my life. And she said she had to go. So I had no problem with Candy leaving, but she did let the girls know. And like I said, the trip was a washout, okay? The hurricane came in, and after y'all had disrespected Big Freedia down to that damn table, okay, Jesus came down and he said, send a flood and send them back to Atlanta, and that's exactly what happened. So when all those lights and stuff were going on, that's called karma come uppance. Portia and Cynthia have a sit down, and they do multiple takes for their business PSA. I thought this was just an interesting, sort of filler scene, and I actually really liked it, because sometimes I think that people don't realize how much goes into these like PSAs or just videos in general. Like there can be multiple takes. I remember when I first started this channel, I would have pretty much 15 takes of something before I was actually satisfied with it. So when they kept going, you know, take 3, take 5, take 7, I was like, okay, cool. I am not alone in the struggle. So good for them bonding on it. But the whole takeaway from that whole situation was that Portia was over Marlo, and her, you know, flip-flop nature, which I totally get. Listen, sometimes you have to be friends with someone from afar, and I think Portia's just gonna have to realize that because of Marlo's allegiance to this friendship with Kenya and her inability to, you know, pick a lane or stay, you know, squarely in the middle, she's just going to keep creating situations where she puts herself unnecessarily into situations that don't affect her. And Portia's right for protecting her peace and moving on in a situation that she can't solve. But, you know, I do hold out hope that eventually they can work things out. Lastly, we come to Blaze Steak and Seafood soft opening. When I tell y'all, I always go up for Candy and her businesses. One of the things she said, you know, on the show previously that I always hold near and dear to my heart is that everything in your life should inspire you to make money, right? And I think if you keep that tenet going forward in your life, you'll be able to become like an entrepreneur and have businesses that reflect, you know, who you are and where you are in your life and what you want to bring to the community. So I thought it was really, really nice that, you know, despite all the challenges that, you know, the U.S. is having and people in general are having with their small businesses and whatnot, Candy and Todd were able to weather the storm and create something that really looks very you know, very upscale, very Nobu, very, you know, high-class hibachi place or whatever. That's the tease that it was giving me. But I go up for them there. It seems like we're going to get into some drama when Kenya showed up down to the soft opening. But until then, y'all, I think that's all I really wanted to say in terms of this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and stereo at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, preserve your peace and don't let people take your energy away from you. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.